I wanted to ask you, because your next film is also potentially a bigger film, Mel Gibson directed, Hacksaw Ridge, and you just got done filming that. How's that going?
I literally finished filming on a Saturday in Sydney. This movie's going to be pretty sick, man. Like, Mel Gibson is a genius, dude. It's an amazing story. This true story in World War II in the Pacific, in Okinawa, which was the bloodiest battle of World War II. And Andrew Garfield plays this guy called Desmond Doss. True story. And he was a unarmed, conscientious objector. He was a medic who saved 75 guys by himself in this battle in Okinawa without a gun. He didn't have a knife, a gun, nothing. He was the only guy in the American army that didn't have a weapon in World War II. And he was the first conscientious objector to be awarded, to earn the Medal of Honor. Yeah, amazing story. I can't believe I hadn't heard of it. And the bits in the movie when I was reading the script, and this is insane. What's going on? Like, how can this be true? And then I watched the documentary and read all about it. And the most insane bits in the movie are the bits that are real. You know? It's like, it's the truth. You can't make this stuff up. You know.
Hacksaw Ridge is Mel Gibson's first film since Apocalypto, right? That he directed.
Yeah.
Because he's had, a lot of all the controversy those years ago, and he's kind of coming back from that. What was it like to be witnessing Mel Gibson kind of get back to his passion?
I mean, for me, the guy's a genius at what he does. I mean, he's just a genius. I think he's one of probably the most intelligent people I've ever met too. He just knows everything about anything. And yeah, for me, just watching someone that good at something do what they do. I mean, it was like watching these extreme sportsmen do what they do and talking to them about it. It was an experience that not many people get. And I felt, really lucky watching him make a movie in his head every day. It was an absolute privilege.
Was there any kind of intimidation going into it, A, because of Mel Gibson's reputation, and B, because it was such a big, really dramatic story?
I mean, obviously you're working with a director and an actor who is so good at what they do, at directing and acting. There's obviously that intimidation, but I find intimidation with every movie I do. I think the day I sign on to a movie, I'm like, oh yeah, this would be a piece of piss, and go do it. I think I'll give up. I mean, what's the fun in that?
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously a little bit of trepidation, but I'd actually worked, the director of Point Break had worked with Mel before. He was a cinematographer on Payback, and our second unit director on Point Break, Mick Rogers, has been Mel's, he was his stunt double in Lethal Weapon. He's been his second unit director since, ever, since Braveheart and stuff. So I kind of had talked to them when I found out I was getting the job. I'd managed to see them and talk to them, and they kind of said, hey, they told me a bit about him. So I wasn't, I kind of had an idea of what I was going to run into, I guess. And when I met Mel, I saw Mick, the second unit director, just before I walked in. So I was like, oh, good. And I was just open to meeting someone that was cool and interesting and someone that I admired,